Hey guys, it's Lyar here. Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I'm bringing you guys a guide on how to instantly improve in Fortnite and a few tips to help you guys get the advantage in engagements. You can maximize the chances of you guys coming on top for battles and things to help you improve over time by just doing simple things. Now, I know it's been really late into the game and there's probably a lot of guides out there, but this is my version of guides and I'm going to be explaining different unique tips that I use. I'm just trying to make my own version of Fortnite guides and help you guys improve in my way, the way I play. There's not a lot of good guides out there in my opinion. I've watched a lot of guys try to learn how to improve my guides, not to actually improve in my game, because that's not what I watch it for. It might look like that, but it's not, trust me. Now technically I've only made one guide so far for Fortnite. It was a guide on whether you should use the Builder Pro or the Combat Pro back when Builder Pro first released, and that video did pretty well and you guys really liked it and you guys found it helpful. And then video's been out for a long time and I still haven't made another guide after that, but I decided it was time for me to make guides just because I've seen other content creators do it and they've been blowing up, they've been doing well on views, so I decided it was time for me to start doing them. I'm going to make this a series where I make a lot of guides, but this video in particular is meant for the really bad players, new players, people who aren't good at Fortnite right now and need help improving from the basics. Things that will instantly help you improve in Fortnite. The things that I'm going to mention in this video are going to help you improve drastically if you're not already using them. And if you're already an average player or a decent player in Fortnite, then this guide is not for you. I'm going to be making other guides in the future for more advanced tactics and more advanced tips. So this video might not help you, but stay tuned for other videos and guides in the future. Now I also want to state something very important. Having a lot of wins is not the same as being good at the game. Wins or stats do not determine your skill level at all. But anyway, let's start this video. So the first tip I have for you guys is to make sure you have a lot of awareness in the game. And what do I mean by awareness? Well, everything awareness in general, basically. This goes from map awareness, game and sound awareness. In the gameplay you see right now, I hear shots in the background and I'm focused to those shots, and that goes towards your awareness, the sound awareness. So once I'm finished looting finally, I rush there as fast as I can and I try to clean up and get as many kills as possible. As you can see, someone starts building in front of me and he did not see me at all, which means he had no awareness and he had no clue that I was behind him. I easily just went up and shot him with these. He does not see me at all or hear me. So that should point out how important having awareness is in the game. Now it's pretty hard to develop awareness skills just because if you have poor eyesight or if you have bad hearing, you can't really change that. Maybe with a hearing aid or some glasses or contacts. But if you don't have good eyesight, you're going to struggle with awareness and it's going to affect your gameplay. But there's still things you can do to affect it. You can raise up your mic volume. Having a mic is important in Fortnite, mainly for communication, which is also counting towards awareness. Calling out where an enemy is, calling out where a trap is, and stuff like that. Listening to the trap sound, listening to people running around you for footsteps. And there's just so many things in Fortnite that involve having awareness. And that's just a few examples that I've mentioned. All of the top players have a high awareness level. They make sure they're aware of their mats. And because they've adapted to it so well, the awareness level just becomes natural. You can find out someone's exact location just by listening to their footsteps and listening to where they are. And I play with a lot of people and they've been wondering how I know where these guys are. I just tell them I have good awareness. So yeah. Now the next thing on this list also relates to having good awareness, and that is peeking in third person and looking around you before you actually peek. Now this is very important because you can actually see who people are before you actually show yourself and endanger yourself for getting shot. Health is so important in Fortnite and sometimes you can be struggling to find shields and meds. When you're in an engagement, you want to try to get out of the engagement with having as much health as possible. For this next clip, I'm going to keep the audio in and I'm going to show you guys how I use my awareness to my advantage. And I was healing with no health and I saw someone on top of the mountain and I rushed to natural cover. And then this next part, I hear someone's footsteps and I see a bush camper default skin. He thought he could stick up on me, but I might sound up and I was able to kill him before he could get a shot on me. And if he managed to get a shot on me, the chances of me dying to that one shot would have been really high. I was able to use my awareness to my advantage and I was able to react fast enough. So the next tip on this list relates to the previous tip regarding taking advantage of the third person view, and this is peeking and taking peek shots. Now what do I mean by peek shots? I mean getting into cover and getting out of cover quickly to take a shot and getting back in. Due to third person view, you can see everything around you without even looking. And you can use this to your advantage to peek at the right time. Someone's trying to push on you and shotgun them, potentially not to get any damage from peeking and getting back into cover at the right time. If someone's watching you, you got to make sure you peek at them, the surprise on them, and make sure you don't peek when they expect you to peek. You gotta peek at the right time and hopefully get the jump on them. Whether it's a sniper or AR or shotgun, anything in this game involves peeking just because of the third person view advantage. It doesn't matter who has the high ground or who has the low ground, peek shotting is still possible. If you're trying to shoot them from the side, then you want to make sure you're on the left side of cover and making sure your right hand side is in the open so you can shoot them, because the mechanics of Fortnite make it so that shooting from this side is easier than shooting on the other side. If you're on the right side and your left hand is showing. You'll miss a lot of your shots, even though it looks like you hit them, you'll miss your shots. Just because of the third person view, a lot of the time you're going to miss your shots or hit the barrier in front of you. So you're going to want to practice the angle of where to peak shot. So now something I don't want to promote or recommend you do is camping or being a douchebag like player. Don't be the kind of guy who just makes a 1x1, waits for someone to make a move and then start shooting them. I just hate the current playstyles in Fortnite right now. A lot of people are doing that. This is more of a newbie tactic, but it's still really good just because of the way Fortnite is right now, the mechanics. People think that just because they have the high ground and they're head glitching the entire time makes them gonna win the game guaranteed, which is not the case at all. I recommend you don't camp in the base for too long. You don't want to take too long to hide if you get hit once and you're trying to heal and stay back there in your base. Someone can take that time to push you or shoot your building down. And you should also avoid the opposite of camping, which is peeking too much and staying in the open for too long. Because if you stay in the open for too long, anyone can be watching you with a sniper. It happens to me all the time, where I'm peeking somewhere and someone from the side out of nowhere snipes me because I'm standing still, I'm trying to shoot someone else, and I have no idea they're looking at me. A lot of people like to cherry pick and try to steal kills, so you want to make sure you peek enough so that people don't rush you, shoot on your base. Fortnite's mainly about building, but there's still shooting involved. If you can't shoot someone and all you do is build, which is what a lot of people do these days, you're not playing it right and you're not going to be successful. A common type of peek shot is the crouch shot. You're crouching behind cover and you use your cover to your advantage and you uncrouch to try to shoot someone. And this is pretty effective, but the thing is though, when you're standing up, you have a lot of bloom, and when you crouch, your aim is a lot better. If you didn't know, there's a mechanic called first shot accuracy, where after a while, if you're crouching, your shots, you're 100% accurate and there's no bloom, and bloom can be really annoying sometimes. Your shots are just random, but crouching makes it a lot better, so I recommend you crouch. You can crouch shot, but it's just a technique. Try to get the jump on someone, makes it fast. You can uncrouch, then crouch again to get a peek shot of someone. So keep that in mind if you're going to crouch you, and also keep in mind that crouching while aiming is more accurate, especially from distances. Moving on, the next tip on this list is to always organize your weapons or inventory. You might notice that a lot of players, whether they're streaming or your friends, they organize their inventory. Because not knowing what your weapon is in the inventory or not knowing what something is that you need at the moment can hurt you and sometimes get you killed. For example, if you can't get your shotgun out in time and you're in a shotgun duel and you're just switching through your loadout trying to find out where it is, and if you're taking the time to focus on your inventory rather than your opponent, it can actually hurt you. On PC, it's faster. It doesn't really hurt you that much. But on console, since you can only switch it one at a time for the weapons, and if you're stalling to switch your weapon, it can actually get you killed if you're not fast enough and if you're in a shotgun duel. It's better to just take the time to organize your inventory and be ready for another engagement than to struggle and switch randomly through your loadout. Now you might be asking, how should you organize your inventory? Well, there's really no exact way. Everyone's different and they all have their different personal preferences, and it should be different what you like and how easy it is for you to access the weapon and get to the weapon that you need. It's very common for people to put their AR in the first slot and the shotgun in the second. I've seen some people put their shotgun in the first slot and then put the AR after because they're usually shotguns more. They put the sniper in the last slot or in the third slot. I personally like to put my AR in the first slot, the shotgun in the second, and I put the sniper in the fifth spot, and then if I have any meds, I put them in between, and then sometimes I carry two shotguns. But like I said, everyone's different, and everyone has their own way of organizing their inventory. You gotta make sure that it's a specific way and use that often so you remember that and it stays in your head, and you don't have to look at your inventory to know where a weapon is specifically. Anyway, moving on with the video. The next tips that I'm mentioning aren't going to really help you instantly, but it's something that you can help over time and something that you can change instantly, because getting better at the game all depends on how much you practice, and these are just a few things that I'm mentioning that can improve your game instantly and you can see a difference. But anyways, get into it, and I'm going to start off by saying that you should try to go for high ground. Pretty sure everyone knows this by now. I'm not going to really explain why high ground is important because it's really late into the game, and I'm not going to really give examples of why high ground is important, but you can still win a lot of engagements without getting high ground, just because you can still win without high ground. It's just that high ground is easier to get the advantage on, and it's easier for lesser skilled players at least. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say for high ground, so yeah. Now the next tip to get better at Fortnite over time is to land in crowded areas and big named areas like Tilted, Salty, Pleasant, and Retail, because you want to get into the action and you want to get used to the action, and this help prepare you for more skillful engagements and battles. Like I said earlier, getting better at the game is not the same thing as winning more games, so don't expect to win these games, and try not to camp a lot. Only camp unless you need to. Camping in big areas kind of defeats the purpose. It's basically like going to Tilted and camping the whole game in one of the buildings, which a lot of people do surprisingly, and at the last second you're just trying to get out and run out of the storm. You're not really trying to get better at the game, you're just trying to pass the time and try to survive and try to win the game. Now the last tip I have for you guys for this video is to play squads more. In my opinion, squads is the best game mode, at least now. I used to play a lot of duos, but like it's getting kind of toxic, and I really don't like playing the game mode anymore. It's getting annoying to play. Playing against a group of squads will just help you tremendously. However, solos better for your independent skill because you don't depend on anyone to win. But other game modes are just usually so much more passive, and it's really not fun to play in my opinion. That's why I don't play a lot of solos. But yeah, squads is just the game mode to help you get better at the game in my opinion. And not to mention you're playing with better players itself. If you play with other people and sometimes if they're better than you, it's good. Just because playing with better players in general will always help you improve. But anyway, that's the video, guys. That's all the tips I have for you, at least for this video. If you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like on the video to show support. And let me know if you want to see more guides on the channel. And make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because I'll be sure to make more guides for you. And yeah, that's it. Catch you guys next time. Peace.
A bit of fun with this guy, cannot lie. Oh man, this guy is so screwed. He must be pooping his pants right now. Please, Fortnite gods, have mercy on me.
3, 2, 1, drop it.